Welcome, folks. I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from Camden, New Jersey. We are, in fact, at Cooper Medical School of Rowan University in Camden. We're here with Congressman Donald Norcross, who knows an awful lot about this city. You were born and bred here.
I was born literally right across the street just a few years ago, and I've lived here for the past decade.
Congressman, talk about why we are here, what Camden means to you, and what the future of Camden could be because of where we are and what's about to come.
Not could be, will be.
Talk about it.
Certainly, when we look back at the history of Camden, it was once one of the busiest ports, not only in America, but in the entire world. It was the hub of commerce. Like many cities around this country, they fell under some rather tough times. Some of the major employers left. But what we've seen over the course of the past 10 years is something unique in American history. From each level of government, from the federal to the state, each level of local government, the county, have all come together, understanding that collectively as a team, we can achieve great things. And what you've seen here is just like the building we're sitting in today.
What does this building represent?
Hope and, quite frankly, the future of medicine in America. This was, at the time, the newest medical school in America. In fact, within a short period of time, Rowan not only has one, this new facility, but two, under the Higher Ed Reauthorization Act that we were able to move through. The legislature back in 2012.
When you were in the Senate.
When I was in the Senate. Now it is one of only 3 institutions in this country that have 2 medical schools.
Congressman, talk about the other piece of this, the Joint Health Sciences Center. What is it? Why does it matter so much? Not just to Camden, not just to the state, but to the country.
It's a great question. So why are we here? Why is this uniquely different? Well, you have to look at the history of the state of New Jersey. There are 27 institutions of higher learning, 4 years or better in the state. 22 of those are up north. The fact of the matter is, South Jersey only had 15% of the seats that were available for students, yet we have 30% of the population. We knew something was off. So that great brain drain that we heard about was actually happening.
Best and brightest students?
Yeah, they're leaving, going across the river. We knew that we needed affordable, accessible, quality education right here in South Jersey. So the higher ed reorganization that we were able to accomplish with the help of, obviously, Steve Sweeney, myself, and the governor, was tried twice before and failed miserably for a variety of reasons. Everybody wanted their home turf. We were able to convince our colleagues, both in the Senate and the Assembly, that this was a great move forward. So what happened is we made sure that Rowan University would be a research university.
Right.
That Rutgers and Rowan would come together.
Rutgers-Camden.
Rutgers-Camden.
The collaboration between Rowan and Rutgers is key to this.
To make sure they had their own board, because Rutgers is such a large institution, many people suggested they tended to forget about Camden. And if you look at the numbers, it tends to bear that out. So what we created is its own board of directors who had Camden Rutgers in mind, and then certainly coming together as a joint board to create what we see here in our background.
Yeah, what are we behind us? Talk about that.
That's
we'll get a shot of this. What are we talking about?
The new Joint Sciences Building, which is a great collaboration, really doesn't happen much. We have Rutgers, Camden, Rowan University, Camden County College, Coriell Institute, a number of folks coming together to make sure that we have the best and brightest right here in the city of Camden. Not just for the city of Camden, but for the U.S. as a whole and, quite frankly, the country.
Congressman, what could this mean? What will it mean to the residents of Camden in terms of the quality of the medical health care services they need? Not to mention the research piece.
Well, let's look at what Rowan has been able to put together along with Rutgers-Camden. We have the Stratford campus of the medical school. We have the medical school right here in the city of Camden. Then we have the main branch down in Glassboro. I'd like to refer that to in the future as that great research triangle. What does that mean? Just 2 years ago, one of the first graduating class from this medical school, a pair of twins from the city of Camden who grew up here, who went to school here, now graduated medical school and are going to help those not only here in the Camden, but the entire area. That's hope.
Is that personal for you?
Oh, absolutely. My father, almost 35 years ago, was at a bill signing with then Governor Byrne, myself in a leisure suit, if it gives you a clue how long ago, talking about a medical facility down here in South Jersey that would serve not only the students of South Jersey, but of the region.
You think about it, I'm born and raised in Newark, a lot going on up there, but I was saying before we get on the air that we don't know enough about Camden. We think we know because we see some of the media reports talking about a whole range of challenges and problems the city has. But the hope and promise, and we're not going to turn this into a commercial for Camden, but the hope and promise for Camden around the whole piece of the education, research, the revitalization just coming in here. Not that you see the name Cooper all over, but well beyond that, you see hope here. And I'm thinking, how much of that how much of the educational institutions a key to that?
Well, let's start out with what Camden used to be. Out of all the school buildings in the entire state of New Jersey, we had 23 of the worst performing schools.
Right.
There's not hope there.
Talking about public schools.
Public schools, schools in general.
Right.
So the building, whether a Renaissance or a charter or a public, they had the worst. We were spending the money, but weren't getting the outcomes. We came together as a state legislature with the help of the governor and created something, a hybrid, a Renaissance school. So what have we seen?
You're talking about Governor Christie at the time.
Governor Christie signed it. But it was to put together a new way of delivering education. Bring the educational experts to us and give us your proposals. So what you had here is the new Mastery School, the KIPP School, and the Uncommon School, who've come together. They're public institutions that are helping those communities, that the children in that area have first right of refusal to go to that school. So graduation rates are up, suspensions are down. The test scores are up significantly. But the one piece that we put in here is after 5 years, we wanted you to go back and study what worked, what didn't, how can we make it better.
What's so interesting is you're talking about school-age children, grade school, but we're here talking about higher ed. We're talking about medical school, the future of medical education. We're talking about the connection between the time we have left, Congressman, the role that medical education plays in economic development.
Well, certainly. And, for somebody to make it to medical school, they have to have a good foundation, and that starts in the grade schools here in Camden. But when you look at any great medical institution around this country, down in Houston, if you've ever been to MD Anderson, you see grow around it an economic stimulus second to none. The most important thing is the research taking place, but it's bringing together that brain trust and those who want to help develop the area. And that's what you'll see here in Camden, is right around the corridor between here and Rutgers and Rowan, just a few blocks away.
You're bullish.
Absolutely. And more importantly, those who are looking at Camden are bullish also. That's why you see over $2 billion worth of work rising out of the ground. The Phoenix is literally rising here. The crime rate has dropped tremendously. In fact, the President of the United States came here to look to see how community policing was done.
President Obama.
Yes, but the most important thing, as I say, the best social program is a job. And giving an opportunity for everybody who calls Camden home to have a good job that pays the bills and they can take care of the family is a true win.
Congressman, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, Choose New Jersey, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, the Turrell Fund, supporting right from the start NJ, United Airlines, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.